Hey y'all, happy afternoon. Happy Sunday afternoon. Hopefully y'all went to church and came home. I went to early church. You know, my church is 2 hours, honey. That's all I can give you. 2 hours, maybe three, including Sunday school and children's church for the kids. It's really sunny in here. Huh. Hey y'all, welcome. Let me turn this a little bit. Oh, there you go. All my books over there. Welcome back to Study the Bible in 1 year. This is my second lesson today. I'm trying to get these lessons done because I am, see all the books over there? I am behind, but I just realized there is no lesson from February 29th, so I'm saving a day. Yeah. Welcome back to Study the Bible in 1 year. My name is Janice. Hopefully you've been reading the lessons, you're enjoying the lessons, you're learning. I'm excited about this lesson because this lesson is talking about the festivals. You know, we always hear about the festivals. Should we keep the festivals and all this and blah? And should we keep the Passover and all this stuff? Well, honey, remember, we've been talking about in the last few lessons about ceremonially, okay? And so while we can participate in the festivals, you don't have to keep those festivals. Not as born again believers. All right. Let me adjust this window. I do not like, let's see. I do not like how the sun is shining. Hold on. Hey, thumbs up this video as you come in. Is that better? Yeah, that is so much better. No, I don't have curtains up at my blinds. And we're getting ready to get some new blinds, some wood blinds. I'm not sure about curtain. I like light. I want to see the light. You know, I want to see the sun coming through. Of course, I had to put a curtain back there because, it's where I sit. But anyways, happy Sunday. Y'all went to church. I went to church already. We went to early church. Um, Say hi. Let me know. Wait a minute. Oh, Kamala Harris endorsed Joe Biden. Just popped up. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these lessons. Say hi. Let me know you're here with me. Even if you're in church, just put the volume really low. Okay, and listen to your pastor. Happy Sunday afternoon. So this is my second lesson today, and hopefully I can come back and do one more, maybe two more, and then that will get us to March, and hopefully I'll be able to catch up this week. I'll be able to catch up and get us to March 9th or whenever we get to March. Okay, so we're reading in Leviticus 22. Leviticus 22, we're going to be reading about the festivals. Yeah. You've heard so much about these festivals. They are in the Bible. Oh, I just want to remind you guys about my t-shirts. That is for today. I had to search through Queen Anne. If you're listening, girl, I couldn't find a large in a green or a purple. I only have one purple one left, and I gave it to my daughter because that's the last purple one. And so I'm sending you a white one. Same thing, Sela. Welcome to Sela channel. I could not find you a medium in any other colors. I don't have any medium at all, so I have to send you a white one too. None of these are mediums. These are small, large, extra large, and 2X's. I guess I got mostly medium, and most people wanted a medium shirt. So none of these are medium. So if you want a t-shirt of what I am wearing, this is a pink one. I had to take it out of the bunch because it had a little soil on it, and I don't want to, sell somebody something that is soiled. So I took this one off. So this is a pink one. It is the shirt for my book that I wrote for my daughter. The book is not only for kids, though. It is for anybody, born again believer, who you need to learn your identity in Christ. Okay, let me get one from up here. Okay, so all right, this is the book. It's actually a 3-book series. It's the book about your identity in Christ. And it says, I am love. I am a child of God. I'm forgiven. I am redeemed. I'm saved by grace. And then it's the Bible verse journal. We don't write these days, but if you want to practice the Bible verse and learn how to write Bible verse and memorize them, and then it's the prayer journal, and then the t-shirt. So the t-shirts are on sale for $10. This is my last bunch. I'm trying to get rid of them because I'm going to do a new shirt and a new design. I think I want a new design of the In Christ I Am. So $10, you can cash at me, but add an extra $3 for shipping if you cash at me. So it's like $13 if you cash at me. They're also available on my blog. I have my books on my blog. I'm just giving you guys a few minutes to come in. I have the Naked Wife book on my blog. I might do a sale for Easter. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a sale for Easter. So this will probably be $15.99. This is my latest book, 23 Types of Guys You Might Meet on Social Media. It is not about social media dating or online dating. It's about being available to meeting guys anywhere. Single ladies, you want to get married. Okay, so all of this is on my blog, so please check my blog out. If you would like to buy me a cup of coffee, I'm drinking water now because I had my coffee already. I'm drinking water. You can cash at me at Cash App, the $ and my name, Janice Hilton, JANICE HYLTON. If you want to email me, send me emails, JaniceHiltonBlog@gmail. And my blog is www.janicehiltonblog.com. And if you want to drop me a letter or send me a gift or a t-shirt, yes, I will wear t-shirts. It's Janice Hilton, P.O. Box 422, Belleville, BELLEVILLE, New Jersey, 07109. All right, let's get to it. Leviticus 22. Leviticus 22, verse 17 to Leviticus chapter 23, verse 44. Also, please run my playlist. I just checked my hours. I only have 318 hours. I need 4,000 hours to really get my channel to be picked up by YouTube. So I need 4,000 hours. I only have 318 hours. So I'm going to try to get those hours with the show, The Bachelorette, coming on. Hopefully it's coming on soon. I think I'm going to use that to really, really build my hours, because my other channel, I was monetizing 2.5 months, mainly because I was reviewing the show Married at First Sight. So hello, YouTube creators. If you want to get those hours quick, review a show, because people are actually searching for that topic and they will watch it, and you can get your hours really quick. 2.5 months, I was able to monetize on my other channel. 2.5 months. Okay, I got over 4,000 hours in 2.5 months. My first month, I got 2,000 hours. Didn't even know I had 2,000 hours. I think the hardest part is getting the 1,000 subscribers. I will need 1,000 subscribers, and I only have 110 subscribers, which I am really surprised, because I really thought people would be interested in studying through the Bible and reading through the Bible, but that's okay. I will use the Bachelorette when it comes on to get these hours, and hopefully I will get my 1,000 subscribers, and I need, because it's a lot of work trying to get it. Okay, I love y'all. Thank you for your love, your support. Leviticus 22, verse 17. Leviticus 22, verse 17. And the Lord said to Moses, give Aaron and his sons and all the Israelites these instructions, which apply to both native Israel and to the foreigners living among them. I am reading from the New Living Translation version. All right, let me share this out in my community tab. Let me share this out. Let's get a few more people in here, okay? Excuse me. Hopefully everyone is being safe with this coronavirus. It is an attack of the enemy. Jesus has overcome it. Let us do our very best to be safe, use wisdom, wash our hands. No more shaking hands. We can love from afar. All right. Okay, Leviticus 22. Just share that out in my other community tab on my other channel, Janice Hilton. I have two channels. And the Lord said to Moses, verse Leviticus 22, verse 17, and the Lord said to Moses, give Aaron and his son, all the Israelites, these instructions, which apply both to native Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. Thanks. Say hi as you come in the room. Thumbs up as you come in. If you present a gift as a burnt offering to the Lord, whether it is to fulfill a vow or is a voluntary offering, you will be accepted only if your offering is a male with no defects. It may be a bull, a ram, or a male goat. Do not present an animal with defects because the Lord will not accept it on your behalf. So there you go. Okay. If you, verse 21, Leviticus 22, verse 21, if you present a peace offering to the Lord from the herd of the flock, whether it is to fulfill a vow or is a voluntary offering, you must offer a perfect animal. It may have no defect of any kind. You must now offer an animal that is blind, crippled, or injured, or that has a wart, a skin sore, or a scab. Such animals must never be offered on the altar as special gifts to the Lord. If a bull or a lamb has a leg that is too long or too short, it may be offered as a voluntary offering, but it may not be offered to fulfill a vow. If an animal has damaged testicles or is castrated, you may not offer it to the Lord. You must never do this in your own land, and you must not accept such an animal from foreigners and then offer it as a sacrifice to your God. Such animals will not be accepted on your behalf. They're mutilated or defective. So you see here, God was very specific about the offering. Do you guys think that God is very specific about our offerings that we bring today? That's why he said in the gospel, don't give grudgingly. If somebody's forcing you to give, don't give. You might as well go on down to McDonald's, buy your burger, sit down and enjoy it. It's the same thing today. Don't give offering, what's left over. Okay. That's why the 10% and offering, tithing, the 10% we give to the Lord needs to come off the top. Okay? Gross before taxes. Okay. Verse 26. Leviticus 22, verse 26. And the Lord said to Moses, when a calf or lamb or goat is born, it must be left with its mother for 7 days. From the eighth day on, it will be accepted as a special gift to the Lord, but you must not slaughter a mother animal or offspring on the same day, whether from the herd or the flock. When you bring a thanksgiving offering to the Lord, sacrifice it properly so you will be accepted. Eat the entire sacrificial animal on the day it is presented. Do not leave any of it until the next morning. I am the Lord your God. You must faithfully keep all my commands by putting them into practice, for I am the Lord. Do not bring shame on my holy name, for I will display my holiness among the people of Israel. I am the Lord who makes you holy. It was I who rescued you from the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. So here again, he said, you must faithfully keep all my commands by putting them in practice. So what that means, we have to practice. Okay, if we don't practice what God said, we're not going to know what to do and how to do it. The Lord said to Moses, Leviticus 23, Leviticus chapter 23. The Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. These are the Lord's appointed festivals, which you are to proclaim as official days for holy assembly. So here God is saying specific festivals, okay? You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of complete rest, an official day for a holy assembly. It is the Lord's Sabbath, and it must be observed wherever you live. In addition to the Sabbath, these are the Lord's appointed festivals, the official days for a holy assembly that are to be celebrated at their proper times each year. So here God is saying, in addition to the Sabbath, here are some festivals that I want you to celebrate. Verse 5, Leviticus 23, verse 5. The Lord's Passover begins at sundown on the 14th day of the first month. Remember, that is the same day that God brought them out of Israel. And God says on that day, it will be the first day. Okay. On the next day, the 15th day of the month, you must begin celebrating the festival of unleavened bread. This festival to the Lord continues for 7 days, and during that time, the bread you eat must be made without yeast. That is the thing they put in the bread to make it rise. On the first day of the festival, all the people must stop their ordinary work and observe an official day for a holy assembly, meaning coming together. For 7 days, you must present special gifts to the Lord. On the seventh day, the people must again stop all their ordinary work to observe an official day for a holy assembly. Verse 9. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you enter the land I am giving you, and you harvest its first crops, bring the priest a bundle of grain from the first cutting of your grain harvest. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest will lift it up before the Lord so it may be accepted on your behalf. On the same day, you must sacrifice a 1-year-old male lamb with no defects as a burnt offering to the Lord. With it, you must present a grain offering consistent of 4 quarts of choice flour moistened with olive oil. It will be a special gift, pleasing aroma to the Lord. You must also offer 1 quart of wine as a liquid offering. Excuse me. Do not eat any bread or roasted grain or fresh kernels on that day until you bring this offering to your Lord. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation. Okay. Verse 22, Leviticus 22, verse 15. From the day after the Sabbath, the day you bring the bundle of grain to be lifted up as a special offering, count off 7 full weeks. Keep counting until the day after the 7th Sabbath, 50 days later. Then present an offering of new grain to the Lord. From wherever you live, bring 2 loaves of bread to be lifted up before the Lord as a special offering. Okay. I got to go. Okay. Go back upstairs with Daddy. Give me a juice. Please. Give me a gummy bear, please. Okay. Juice, you know where the juice is, and the gummy bears on the table. Leave that. Leave that. It's dirty. From the day after the Sabbath, verse 15, Leviticus 22, verse 16. From the day after the Sabbath, the day you bring the bundle of grain to be lifted up as a special offering, count on 7 full weeks. Keep counting until the day after the Sabbath, 50 days later. Verse 17, from whoever you live, bring 2 loaves of bread and to be lifted up before the Lord as a special offering. Make these loaves from 4 quarts of choice flour and bake them with yeast. These loaves and breads is making me hungry. I didn't eat my brunch yet. I just came back. I was like, let me do this lesson before I eat and go to sleep. Take a nap. Take a nap, beloveds. Okay, Sunday is for church and rest. Amen. Sometimes we don't feel well in our bodies because we are not resting. After you come from church, stop going to that church where you got to stay in church all day. Find your church. You can go for a few hours. You'll be home by 12. Definitely by 1. Have dinner with your family and then go take a nap. Okay, that's what I do. They will be an offering. Leviticus 22, verse 17. They will be an offering to the Lord from the first of your crops. Verse 18. Along with the bread, present 7 1-year-old male lambs with no defects, 1 young bull, and 2 rams as burnt offerings to the Lord. These burnt offerings, together with the grain offering and the liquid offerings, will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Then you must offer 1 male goat as a sin offering, the 2 1-year-old male lambs as a peace offering. Did you get the gummy bears? Excuse me, guys.
Well, I got the gummy bears. I got
Where are you getting it from?
it. I don't know. It's not in the table.
Who told you to go with it? I'm gonna have to change my height. Okay, here you go. One for you, one for Lexi. Lexi one. They're all the same. Okay. Okay. Give one to Lexi. You have your juice?
No.
Here you go.
You gotta put it up there.
I don't know. I'll let you go. Verse 20, Leviticus 22, verse 20. The priest will lift up the two lambs as a special offering to the Lord, together with the loaves representing the first of your crops. These offerings, which are holy to the Lord, belong to the priest. That same day will he be proclaimed an official day for a holy assembly, a day on which you do no ordinary work. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation wherever you live. When you harvest the crops of your land, do not harvest the grain along the edges of your field, and do not pick up what the harvest drop. Leave it for the poor and the foreigners living among you. I am the Lord your God. So you see, God even made provisions for the poor. Verse 23, Leviticus 22, verse 23. The Lord said to Moses, give the following instruction to the people of Israel. On the first day of the appointed month in early autumn, you are to observe a day of complete rest. It will be an official day for a holy assembly, a day commemorated with loud blasts of trumpet. You must do no ordinary work on that day. Instead, you are to present special gifts to the Lord. You see all the gifts and stuff they had to bring to the Lord? Then the Lord, verse 26, Leviticus 22, verse 26, and the Lord said to Moses, be careful to celebrate the Day of Atonement on the 10th day of that same month, 9 days after the Festival of Trumpets. So very specific. You must observe it as an official day for Holy Assembly, a day to deny yourselves and present special gifts to the Lord. So that's a day of fasting, okay? Do not work during the entire day because it is the Day of Atonement when offerings of purifications are made for you, making you right with the Lord your God. All who do not deny themselves that day will be cut off from God's people. You must not do any work at all. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation wherever you live. This will be a Sabbath day of complete rest. A Sabbath day of complete rest for you. And on that day, you must deny yourselves. This day of rest will begin at sundown on the 9th day of the month, and extend until sundown on the 10th day. Wasn't Jesus crucified around Passover? This will be a Sabbath day of rest. Leviticus 22, verse 32. So when we read in the New Testament where Jesus was celebrating the Passover, it said it was not the regular Sabbath. So it was a Saturday. It was the Passover, which is also considered a Sabbath. But anyways, we don't care when he died. All we care about is he died, he rose, he got up, he died for you and me. As Bible scholars, though, we can debate that. Okay? Not on this channel, of course, not here. Then the Lord said to Moses, giving the following instructions to the people of Israel, begin celebrating the festival of shelters. On the 15th day of the appointed month, 5 days after the Day of Atonement, this festival to the Lord will last for 7 days. On the first day of this festival, you must proclaim an official day for a holy assembly. When you do no ordinary work for 7 days, you must present special gifts to the Lord. The 8th day is another holy day in which you present your special gifts to the Lord. This will be a solemn occasion and no ordinary work. may be done that day. So they have a lot of days to celebrate. Verse 37, Leviticus 22, 20, Leviticus 23 and verse 32, verse 37. These are the Lord's appointed festivals. Celebrate them each year as official days for Holy Assembly by presenting special gifts to the Lord, burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifice, and liquid offerings, each on its proper day. These festivals must be observed in addition to the Lord's regular Sabbath days, and the offerings are in addition to your personal gifts, the offerings you give to fulfill your vows, and the Lord, and the voluntary offering you present to the Lord. Remember Leviticus 23, verse 39. Remember that this 7-day festival to the Lord, the festival of shelters, begin on the 15th day of the appointed month after you have harvested all the produce of the land. The first day and the 8th day of the festival will be days of complete rest. On the first day, gather branches from magnificent trees, palm, fronds, grows from leaves, trees, and willows and grows by streams. Then celebrate with joy before the Lord your God for 7 days. You must celebrate with joy before the Lord your God for 7 days. You must observe this festival to the Lord for 7 days every year. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed in the appointed month. From generation to generation, for 7 days, you must live outside in little shelters. All native born Israelites must live in shelters. This will remind each generation of Israel that I made their ancestors live in shelters when I rescued them from the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses gave the Israelites these instructions regarding the annual festivals of the Lord. So one thing you will notice is the Lord did a lot of stuff to remind the people of what they went through. Thumbs up as you come in this live. Happy Sunday. Hey, let me know you're here with me. 7 people in the room, 3 thumbs up. Hey, girl. Mark chapter 9, the New Testament reading. Mark chapter 9. Leaving the region, they traveled through Galilee. Jesus didn't want anyone to know he was there, for he wanted to spend some more time with his disciples and teach them. He said to them, the Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of his enemies. He will be killed, but 3 days later, he will rise from the dead. They didn't understand what he was saying, however, and they were afraid to ask him what he meant. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask God questions. I know some people say, don't ask God no questions. Why not? He's your daddy, just like that little my baby. He's my baby. He asks the question. So why we can't ask God questions? Verse 33, Mark 9, verse 33. After they arrived at Capernaum and settled in a house, Jesus asked his disciples, what were you discussing on the road? But they didn't answer because they had been arguing about which of them was the greatest. My God. He sat down, called the 12 disciples over to him, and said, whoever wants to be first must last place be in the servant of everyone else. Hello, you husbands who don't want to serve your wife. You want to be greatest, but you don't want to be servant. Mm-hmm. There you go. Ladies, don't marry a man that does not have a heart of a servant. You hear me? Verse 36, then he put a little child among them, taking the child in his arms. He said to them, anyone who welcomes a little child like this on my behalf welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me welcomes not only me, but also my Father who sent me. Now, the example of the little child is what? They're so innocent. They're so, just see my little baby Baba. He's just so innocent and just so sweet and just honest and good heart. Okay. John said to Jesus, teacher, we saw someone using your name to cast out demons, but we told them to stop because he wasn't in our group. Don't stop him. Jesus said, no one who performs a miracle in my name will soon be able to speak evil of me. Anyone who's not against us is for us. If anyone gives you even a cup of water because you belong to the Messiah, I tell you the truth, that person will surely be rewarded. See there? Give, and it shall be given unto you. But if you cause one of these little ones to trust in me to fall into sin, it would be better for you to be thrown into the sea with a large milestone hanging around your neck. Hello? Teachers and preachers who are leading the people wrong, causing people to err. Verse 43, Mark 9:43. If your hand calls you to sin, cut it off. It's better to enter eternal life with only one hand, go into the unquenchable fires of hell with two hands. If your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better to enter eternal life with only one foot than to be thrown into hell with 2 feet. And if your eye causes you to sin, God, gouge it out. It is better to enter the kingdom of heaven with only one eye than to have 2 eyes and be thrown into hell, where the maggots never die and the fire goes out. Hey, Latoria, I want to send you a T-shirt. I talked about you in my other video, I think this morning. I want to send you a T-shirt. What size? Here's all my T-shirts and what color. I don't have any medium, and I have very few large. So what size? Let me write it down. You always support me, girl. And you bought my book. How's the book going? And email me with your address. Not like Latoria. What size and color T-shirt? Okay, I got my list. I'm gonna do that later. Okay, so of course, beloved, Jesus is not going to go actually saying, go cut your hands off. He is saying, if there's anything that's causing you to sin, cut it off. If you can't stop watching porn on your phone, turn it off. If you can't stop watching porn on that TV, turn the cable off. You can't stop fornicating, don't talk to nobody. No man. You can't stop stealing, turn yourself into the police and tell them you need help. Okay, Latoria, yellow. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have it, girl, but whatever I have, extra large yellow. Email me with your address. Okay. So he's saying whatever is causing you to sin, get rid of it. Verse 49, Mark 9:49. For everyone will be tested with fire. Salt is good for seasoning, but if it loses its flavor, how do you make it salty again? You must have the qualities of salt among yourselves and live in peace with each other. Mark chapter 10. Thumbs up, guys, as you come in the room. Please check those thumbs up for me. Then Jesus left Capernaum. This is Mark chapter 10. Then Jesus left Capernaum and went down to the region of Judea into the area east of the Jordan River. Once again, crowds gathered around him, and as usual, he was teaching them. Some Pharisees came and tried to trap him with this question: should a man be allowed to divorce his wife? Gee, listen, because this is great debate in the church today about divorce and remarry. Should you divorce? Should you remarry? Okay. So let's listen to this. Jesus answered them with a question: what did Moses say in the law about divorce? Well, he permitted it, they replied. He said a man can give his wife a written notice of divorce and send her away. But Jesus responded, he wrote this commandment only as a concession to your hard hearts. But God made them male and female from the beginning of creation. This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. Since they are no longer two but one, let no one split apart what God has joined. Later, when he was alone with his disciples in the house, they brought up the subject again. I'm going to get back to that. He told them, whoever divorces his wife and marries someone else commits adultery against her. And if a woman divorces her husband and marries someone else, she commits adultery. Okay, stops right there. Now, why did Moses permit divorce? Because hardness of your heart. So some people say the only reason for people to get divorced is if somebody, the husband, cheat. But you want to tell me your husband is beating you? We've seen it in the church. That has happened to somebody I know. Beating you, and you think you're gonna tell me God is okay with you staying with? Thank you, babe. Thank you. Stay with that man that's beating you, that could kill you? I don't think so. And that's harden of your heart. How do you marry a woman and then beat her? This happened to my church sister. Elder, her husband was an elder in the church. He killed her, shot her in her head in front of her kids. And you know what I asked my father in the faith when he called me to tell me this is in another church? Is I'm just wondering how many times she went to the elders of the church and said, my husband is beating me. And they told her to stay with him and pray. How many times, beloved, have we heard in the church, ladies, for, that the man is beating the woman and they told her to pray and stay? The devil is a lie. You better get your kids, pack your stuff, and run for your life. Because, like I like to say, the next time he hits you, he might kill you. So you don't tell me that that man is beating your behind, but God wants you to stay. I don't think so. My husband, no. The day you ever put your hands on me, honey, let's go on down to the court because I'm not staying with you. Okay? I'm not staying with a man that would dare to lift his hands and hit me. No, man. Mm-mm. Not me. Not me. And ladies, y'all dating these men that they was extremely aggressive and abusive before while you was dating engaged and you still married them, what you think is going to happen? You think he's going to get better when he marry you? No. It's only going to get worse, baby. Whatever the dating and the engagement stage is a picture of what and how your marriage is going to be. If he was being aggressive and abusive during that time, guess what's going to happen when you get married? If he was being loving and kind and buying you flowers and treating you, providing for you when you were dating and single and all this stuff, when you get married, it's only going to get better. Okay? You guys need to go over to Janice Hilton, where I give all my marital advice over there. Okay? Dating advice. As a matter of fact, Latoya, I'm going to do a video especially for you. I believe you left a comment on my blog that I need to go in and approve the comment about how to activate your husband's anointing to provide. But I think somebody else asked me to do another video on my list I have for my husband. So I'm gonna do that. I might do it before I take my nap. All right. I'm gonna do it on my other camera. Psalm 44, Psalm 44, we are moving. Psalm 44, oh God, we have heard it with our ears. Psalm 44, 1 to 8, oh God, we have heard it with our ears. Our ancestors have told us of all you did in their day, in days long. So here it is. They are saying they have hear it in their days. This is why the Bible, God keeps on saying, remember, remember. It's a remembrance. It's a remembrance. It's a remembrance to you. Okay? Tell your children, teach your children. Deuteronomy is going to say, teach your children, tie it on the door, write it on your hand, write it on your heart. So let me read that again. Psalm 44, verse 1. Oh God, we have heard it with our own ears. Our ancestors have told us of all you did in their day, in days long ago. You drove out the pagan nations by your power and gave all the land to our ancestors. You crushed their enemies and set our ancestors free. They did not conquer the land with their swords. It was not their own strong arm that gave them victory. It was your right hand and strong arm and the blinding light from your face that helped them, for you love them. Why? Because God loved them. Nothing was messy over here. It's not messy. It's books over here. Books on my prayer shawl over here. There you go. That looks awkward. Okay. You are my king and my God. You command victories for Israel. Only by your power can we push back our enemies. Only in your name can we trample our foes. I do not trust in my bow. I do not count on my sword to save me. You are the one who gives us victory over our enemies. You disgrace those who hate us. Oh God, we give glory to you all day long and constantly praise your name. Notice he said constantly, not sometime, not only when trouble is coming, but constantly praising the name of our Lord. Amen. Proverbs 10 and 19, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 19. Talk much leads, too much talk leads to sin. There you go. Be sensible and keep your mouth shut. Okay? Did we not just read what Jesus said? If it's offends you, pluck it out. Keep your mouth shut. If you got problem gossiping, you got problem slandering people, you got problem cussing, you have a cussing spirit, shut your mouth. Get in the scriptures and write some scriptures out about the words of your mouth. All right, that is our lesson for today. 7 people in the room, but I only have thumbs up, but maybe just didn't refresh. There's only 3 thumbs up I have. All right, I love you guys. I'm gonna run, but I'm gonna be back. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to be back with February 28th lesson. There's no February 29th lesson, February 28th. And then we can go to March. 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 Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I mix up a lesson? Wait a minute. Wait. Let me get my Bible because this lesson is not. This is not correct. This is no reading for. This is not correct. This is not correct. It's saying Leviticus 16, but I already read Leviticus 16. And this one is saying Mark 9. This is saying Mark 7. Wait a minute. 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 I have all my lessons here. I have all my lessons here. This is what happened because if you get mixed up, I can always go back. Leviticus 20, Leviticus 16. It's my box here. I keep all my lessons in here. So if something is not right, 25. I can always go back. Check the list. Just stay out with me a couple more minutes. Let me get to an hour. Please, guys. Thank you. 21. So hopefully you guys are really enjoying these lessons. As you can tell, I am really enjoying them. I love to teach the word of the Lord. Okay, here goes Leviticus 24. Leviticus 27, 26. Seem like I mixed something up. 25. Okay, there we go. Okay, so 26, 27, 25, 24. So 15. Okay, here goes. Sorry. Did I mix? Looks like I mixed 24. So 16, 28. So that should have been 25, 24. Yep, I mixed up a class. Something's not right. 25, 16, Leviticus 24. All right, Lord, how am I going to fix this? I already did this lesson. 7. I'm going to have to put the lesson, the number below. Yep, I mixed up a lesson. So from February 24th, from February 25 down to the end, it seems as if I'm a lesson ahead. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm a lesson ahead. So February 20. I'm gonna have to go back and I can't retag them. Just think, guys, that each lesson for the last 5 days is a lesson ahead. Okay, lesson ahead. So actually, I don't have a 28 lesson because I skipped one lesson accidentally. That it wasn't intentional. Okay, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait, Leviticus 16. So this is why I'm going to print out the sheet with me, keep it here on my table with me, and I also have the Bible that tells me the dates. And I'm going to put the dates in the book so this doesn't happen again, because this was a huge misstep here. But um, we basically covered this. This is okay. No, I need to do this because it's talking about forbidden against eating blood. For the next lesson, forbidden sexual practices. Oh yeah. Child, we need to talk about these sexual things, honey. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do this class. I'm gonna do this class as February 28th, but this is actually February 25th. Okay. So that's why. So February 25th is actually 26, 27, 28. Okay. Whew, I don't know how I mixed that up. See, this is why this is my bucket right here. I keep all my lessons in here so I can go back and straighten out whatever I need to straighten out. All right. All right. Stay on with me. Stay on with me. 6 people, just stay on with me a little bit longer. I need another 12 minutes to bring me to 1 hour. Um, all right. Let me read something for you guys from my book. Latoya, are you on? Which story in The Naked Wife is your favorite? Let me read that for everybody. If you're still on, Latoya, I know it's Sunday, people's in church. From my book, The Naked Wife, which story is was it Coming to America? You said you was reading Coming to America the other day. Let me read that one. Let me read Coming to America. I need another 12 minutes, guys. Stay with me for 12 more minutes. Mm, 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 mm. 55-year marriage. Yes, I am here. Oh, you want me to read 55-year marriage? You want me to read that one? 55 years of marriage, 43, page 43. Okay. 55 years of marriage. Oh, yes. I remember this. I know her personally, too. I just celebrated. This is from my book, The Naked Wife. It is available on my blog. And it's also available on Amazon. Okay. Thank you. Latoya, you're at 55 years of marriage. So I'm gonna read that one. Or is that your favorite? I just celebrated, I think that's where you are, right? I just celebrated my 74th birthday and had been married for 55 years. My husband was in the military right out of high school. Back in those days, that is what you did. We had three beautiful children, and he spent a lot of time overseas. Once he came home to visit, and in about a week or so, I was itching and burning. I just didn't know what was going on with me. Oh, it's your favorite. Really? Wow. That's your favorite? 55 years of marriage? Girl. At that time, I was a nanny for a nurse. I asked her about it and she told me to go to the doctor. I don't even remember what they said it was, but it was some sexually transmitted disease. I was so disgusted. I confronted my husband and he denied it and blamed it on me, saying that I had been cheating while he was in the military. I packed my stuff, took my kids, and went to my parents. They sent me back home and told me to go work it out with my husband. See, that's what them old folks did back in the days, okay? Went back home and didn't talk to him and only called him after 6 months when he didn't send any money for me and the kids. I had decided that I would stay with him until my baby turned 18 and went to college. But over the years, we both came to know Christ, and he said he was trying to do better. So I stayed. But honestly, that is still in the back of my mind. I know wives say they forgive and forget, but I don't understand how they forget something like that. I love her. She is so real. Okay. She is absolutely, absolutely real. Because, see, a lot of people, they wouldn't tell you this. They would say, oh, forgive and forget. There is no such thing as forgetting. Okay. Unless God take it out of your mind, you can't forget. All right. Okay, one more. Let me read. Let me read "Coming to the America." Is that the one where she left the kids with the husband? Girl, I might leave the man, but I'm taking my babies with me. Okay, I'm not leaving my babies behind. Let's see. "Coming to America." Uh, Coming to America. Wait, can't find it. Let me go back. Oh, here go in front. Coming to America, 48, page 48. From my book, The Naked Wife, available on Amazon or in my blog. Literary. Oh no, Janice, it was the story when the older woman teach the young woman. Oh yes, yes, yes. 40 years of marriage. My oh girl, I don't have my book with me. Okay. That one. Yes, 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 yes. I'm gonna read that one. Mm, mm, mm. Is it the 50 years of marriage, page 33? 53 of marriage. No, that's not the one. I know which one. The pastor's wife, right? That is my favorite one. That is my favorite because you it tells you that it is possible to have a good and happy marriage if two people work at the marriage and you're committed to the marriage. Um, first lady. Yeah, first ladies, 28. I know which one you're talking about. That is my favorite one. Yes, that is my favorite one. Yeah, let me read. Let me read. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. Um, Life happens. First ladies, 42 year. Okay, here. First lady, 42. This is. I'm just gonna read part one because well, 42 years of marriage. Every time I tell this story again, this is from my book, The Naked Wife, available on Amazon or on my blog. Every time I tell this story about my husband and me, it brings a smile to my face. Well, we were in college, and that was my first time being away from home. I loved my newfound freedom. I had a boyfriend that I didn't tell daddy about, but somehow he heard about it and he came up to the school to meet my new boyfriend. We met at a restaurant and my boyfriend was just trembling and sweating. An hour later, daddy had to go back to pick up mom on time from the train station. When he got up, he kissed. hugged me, and said my first and middle name. Now that Matt, don't you dare. That made my heart sink because I knew then that he didn't like him. Later, I called Daddy and asked him how he liked my boyfriend and told him that he was studying to be a doctor. Daddy said, "Baby, why don't you wait on the Lord? My daddy didn't like him, but we kept courting and so on." There was this guy that was eyeing me and talking to me here and there, but I had no interest in him because I had my doctor to be boyfriend. Somehow he found out that my daddy was a Baptist preacher, so he came to Easter service and he was just grinning at me. After church, I got home with my older brothers, and who was sitting in my living room? The weird guy. I almost turned around and ran. My daddy jumped up, smiling from ear to ear, and called me in the living room and said, "This is Paul, a pastor's son from Mississippi. He said he goes to your school." I tried to be gracious and pleasant. Then here comes Mama with a cola from for them and hot cocoa for me. Now, in those days, cocoa was only for special occasions or you were going to die. So I looked at Mama and she was just grinning and smiling from ear to ear and staring at me weird. Then Daddy said, "Brother Paul here come to ask me if he could take you out for dinner one evening." In my mind, I was crying because I knew that Daddy and Mama liked him. And then my brother started to smile, and I was the only one without a smile. So I agreed to go to dinner with him later when back at school. The long and short of it is that my daddy taught me into breaking up with my boyfriend, and on New Year's Eve, Mr. Weird Guy proposed at church. I have never seen my daddy so happy. Paul had graduated the May before, and I would graduate the following May. Both daddy and mama were adamant about me finishing school, and so in July, I became Mrs. Paul. Looking back, I do not regret. Yes, my former boyfriend went on to be a doctor, to become a doctor. Okay. First lady counsels in the back. Now, this is the second part of her um, mm, first lady counsel. Okay. So she continues. Marriage back then were different. My daddy and Paul's daddy stayed on him about being a praying man first, a good husband, and a father. See, they had the father examples. They had somebody to teach them how to be a good husband. On Saturdays, it would be the three preachers on our porch going over Bible and preaching to each other. Every Saturday, we had an audience because Daddy would be out there preaching. Over the years, we have had some tough times, but I have never wanted to leave. Woo! Okay. Um, I cannot say that my husband has been unfaithful. He traveled a lot as a young preacher, and even today he still does. Back then, I had the kids and couldn't travel as much, but today I go most places with him. Men were different back then. God, Bible, keeping your family together and making your wife happy was necessary. Most of the time, we didn't have much but each other. And back then, women put up with a lot of things because he was the breadwinner. Some husbands would be cheating, and yet women had to stay with them. Not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. The same thing applied to abuse. Women stayed, and many lost their lives because they didn't have a way out or any means to support themselves and their children. Men today are different. They behave as if they have something wrong with them. I see it with my own son and my son-in-laws, also with the men that come for premarital and marriage counseling. Somewhere, something has happened. I don't know if it's the milk or the food, but something has happened with our men. Thumbs up, guys. Check those thumbs up for me. Men today treat their wives like a new toy. They get used to it and then they want to discard them for a new one. Usually it's the wives that are fighting to save their marriages because they love their husbands and will do anything to save their marriages. I see it every day. I know that my daughter-in-law is going with with this. I know my daughter-in-law is going through this with my son, even though came from a good Christian home, mother and father intact. We tried hard never to argue in front of the children. We raised him to get married and be faithful, but he just doesn't seem to want to grow up and be a responsible husband. I try to encourage her and tell her to hang in there and hold on and to pray for him. I would never tell her to leave or stay as a decision for her to make. My husband has talked to Paul Jr. about him being a better husband. Love your wife, support her, be faithful, do right by her, help her with the kids, bring her flowers, etc. And my daughters, they're going through this too and are fighting to save their marriages. These men today don't want to be men. Of course, not all men are like that, but as the first lady in a church that conducts hundreds of weddings, the common factor is that these men today don't want to grow up. They want to act like little boys with a new toy until they get used to it. It saddens me because I have one girl left to be married and she is in her 30s and has yet to meet a suitable husband for her. Many wives come in to talk to me crying about their marriages and their husband. It breaks my heart. As a first lady, accept abuse. I encourage wives to try and work their marriage out. I have seen many couples overcome infidelities and gone on to have a happy and lasting marriage. Ain't gonna be me, child. Mm-mm. But it takes work. He's going to have to change his ways. Check in with her. No secrets. No secret Facebook or Instagram accounts. If you have a lock on your phone, your wife should have the password. There should be no secrets between a husband and a wife, especially if he's been unfaithful and she is willing to work to save your marriage. When husbands mess up, they should be humble about getting right. Don't expect her to just move on. Give her time and space to heal. Listen to your wife, talk to her, and understand her. Men don't take the time to talk to their wives today. We encourage both husband and wives to get into counseling when there has been an injury to the marriage. Get into men's and women's fellowship. One thing I love about my Paul is that no matter how tired he is, he takes time every day to talk to me. Oh, that's so beautiful. We encourage both to, and let me give you this little tidbit. We have been married for over 40 years, and our bedroom is still on fire. I was like, "First lady." See, when both people care about each other and about fulfilling each other's needs, you will make it happen. I don't understand when couples come into marriage counseling and say that it has been 2 and 3 years since they've had sex. And these are young couples, not all folks like Pastor and me. How does a husband have issues with sex and not try to address it to meet the needs of his wife? How do you not try everything possible to satisfy your wife? I don't understand that. What Bible are they reading? That is being selfish. And these are church folks. I'm talking about not worldly people. I don't understand it. The number of wives that come into my office to speak of a uh, sexless life is puzzling to me. Because when my husband and I were coming up, we had so much sex that I'm surprised we don't have 50 kids. We only have five. When God brings a man and woman together in holy matrimony, it is because they had a need that each can fulfill. A husband is to protect his wife, provide for her, and profess his undying love. Love, treasure, and cherish her. Don't compare your wife's body to another woman's. Your wife has borne your children. A husband has to focus on his wife and seek everyday ways to put a smile on her face. At least that's what my Paul does. I remember one day I was so upset with him for what I don't remember. But what I remember is Paul going outside and pulling up some flowers out of my garden and bringing them to me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. That is what a husband is supposed to do: keep his wife happy, satisfied, fulfilled, and smiling. Oh, I love you're right. Latoya, this is my favorite story in the book. This is, and I know this couple. I know this couple. They have a huge church, beautiful church. You see them, they're always to hat together, always holding hands. He always talk about his wife, how beautiful his wife is, how much he love his wife, and he appreciate his wife. I love, absolutely love that story, and I love this couple. All right. All right, guys. I love it. Thank you, Latoria. So I have your t-shirt written down. I'm gonna pack stuff up later for Mike to drop in the mail for me tomorrow. I love you all. Remember, my books are available on Amazon. Latoria, go on Amazon and leave a review for me. I need another review. And I'm going to send you a sample of 23 types of guys you might meet. Guys, if you go online and on Amazon, if you download this sample, it will allow you to leave a review. All right. I'm going to run. I'm going to take my nap. I love you guys. I will see you later. I have one more class for February, and then we can get into March. All right. Love y'all. See you later. Bye. Mwah, 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 mwah. Take a nap. Look for it. Go take a nap. Rest. Bye.